Hello, this is Back Moon. I would like to respond to Bizzle's video, which addresses several key points in Buddhism regarding the teachings of not-self and of karma. I hope that I am able to shed some light on Buddhist teachings for Bizzle and his viewers. He has made several videos touching on Buddhism, and it is quite apparent to me that he is sincere in trying to accurately convey the teachings of Buddhism, for the purposes of comparison with Christianity, debate, and dialogue. This is more difficult than one would think because Buddhism is a very diverse religion and it can be difficult to find sources that are universally accepted by Buddhists worldwide. Therefore, my first order of business is to praise Bizzle for his diligence and research. I will begin with Bizzle's point that karma is incompatible with the teaching that there is no personal self. In his video, Bizzle asks, if there is no personal self or being, then how can one experience the effects of karma in a future life? The best response I can give is this: Buddhism does not teach that there is no personal self. Rather, it teaches that there is no part of the person which can be regarded as an unchanging aspect of what one is. Allow me to demonstrate this by quoting a section of the Buddhist scriptures, which describes the Buddha's teaching of not-self. What do you think, monks? Is form constant, or inconstant? Inconstant, Lord. And is that which is inconstant satisfactory or not? It is not, Lord. And is it fitting to regard what is inconstant, non-satisfying, and subject to change as, this is mine, this is myself, this is what I am? This probably comes as a surprise to many people watching this. It is a common misconception, even among many Buddhists, that there is no personal self. The teaching of not-self is not intended to be a philosophical statement on the nature of identity. Rather, it is a teaching which is to be used in the context of meditation, in order to let go of the phenomena of the mind and body. For the purpose of comparison, let's contrast this teaching of not-self with Christianity's teaching of the self. Christianity teaches that there is a spirit, which is eternal, unchanging, and exists in distinction, yet is united with the mind and body. Buddhism teaches that one's identity is a composite of all the changing components of the mind and body, none of which are permanent, or can be called the self. I will now move on to Bizzle's more general statements regarding karma. Bizzle asks, who, or what, is adjudicating and administering this system of cause and effect? Bizzle has asked a very common question, one that has a rather complex answer. Buddhism teaches that karma is an impersonal law of nature, not something that is enforced by some higher power. One might rightly ask, then how is one's rebirth determined? Here is where the answer gets complex. If we turn to the Abhidhammic texts, we find an explanation. According to the Abhidhamma, at the time of death, one's normal state of mind ceases, and for a brief period of time, the mind opens up and enters one's habitual state of mind. Upon death, one is reborn into a place that corresponds to this state. For example, a serial killer who dies enters into a state of sadism or something similar. This state of mind is wicked and depraved, so they are reborn in hell, which is the projection of this internal state. Bizzle then asks what happens to an infant who dies young. The Abhidhamma also answers this. According to the Abhidhamma, in such a case, one's life would be determined by what other karma a person had in store from previous lifetimes. Bizzle also asks how one can say that the factors of the Noble Eightfold Path are good if there is no divine lawgiver. I will first say that as a Buddhist, I regard the Noble Eightfold Path as good because I believe it to lead to Nibbana. This is something which the Buddha determined by direct observation. It was through the factors of the Noble Eightfold Path that he, and all of his Arahat disciples, attained Nibbana. This is why it is called good. That finishes my response to Bizzle. I would again like to praise him for going outside of his comfort zone and commenting on Buddhism. It is important in this day and age that the religions of the world have true and honest dialogue whose purpose is neither to insult each other, nor to mix together into a syncretic mess, but to come to a better understanding of what each religion actually teaches. Thus, I feel that Basil's commentaries on Buddhism are actually an intellectually stimulating breath of fresh air. I hope that I have added to the discussion in a meaningful way. If you have any comments, feel free to post below or put up a response video. Of course, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask, either in the comments, in a personal message, or in a video response. If you want to know where I quoted from, look down in the description bar for a link. If you are interested in learning more about Buddhism, I would humbly suggest access to insight.org. Thank you.